It's Veronika, Hannah, and we've got our fabulous guest, Michelle from Two Brothers Blankets here with us. Thank you for the amazing presentation. So Michelle was talking about crocheting garments for boys and for men. There is a little reason behind it because Michelle has recently, how long has it been? How long has your book been out? It's been
just over a year. It came out
just
March
over a year.
2023.
Time flies because I could swear to God it was like it was yesterday.
I know.
It really
I know.
does feel like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So Michelle's our lovely designer, and she agreed to talk to us about crocheting garments for men and boys based on her amazing and super popular book. I mean, it's amazing patterns in there, amazing models. Your husband and your two boys, they did really great job, and the book is amazing. So if anyone wants to get into crocheting garments for men and boys, Michelle's book is the one to go for. Of course, after you watch the presentation and getting all the tips and tricks on how to crochet garments for men and boys. We've got some people popping over. Hello, everyone.
Joining us, saying hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
And lots of people were chatting in the on the side of the YouTube premiere as well, weren't they, about everything?
Yeah.
So come on in and ask your questions. Tell us what you're making. Tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, we've got a vest for hubby.
Oh, here we are. Yep, I'm getting ready to make a 4X vest for my hubby. Awesome stuff. Have you chosen the pattern yet? Do you know what you're making? Oh, and we have the first question. Awesome. Hi, do you have a favorite fiber and weight for men's ties? Oh, that's I didn't expect that to be at the end of the sentence.
I know. I've actually not crocheted a men's tie, but it has been on my to-do list. I'm just a little nervous about what to do.
I've done one for the children. I've done a teeny weeny one on elastic for the children.
Yeah, I have a bow tie, but I used a worsted acrylic yarn for that one. So we'll see. I would assume probably an acrylic would be fine for one. I don't know. It depends. I definitely will say that I like the lighter weights for men's stuff. And the men like it better too.
Yes.
A lot better. They don't want it much heavy, warm stuff. Now, at least where I live. I live in the warm, but the lighter fabric, it feels more like something you'd buy at the store and has more drape. Stuff like that is definitely something that men like a lot.
And I think for a tie, if you're making it as a proper tie without the elastic, like it needs to be really flexible, doesn't it? It needs to be able to like tie, doesn't it? That's a really important thing, actually.
Yeah, if you're doing it like an actual tie, it would need to be very sturdy.
Yeah, definitely. And then we have Carrie saying, if the guys have a big tummy, we've just started talking about this beforehand, didn't we? And then this is bigger than the shoulders. So if the shoulder to shoulder chest measurement, then do you go by the tummy measurement? So
yeah, you could. That would definitely work. If it's bigger than the shoulder to shoulder, I would definitely take all their measurements. And I do that with my husband. I take as many measurements as I can think of. I write them down and I compare to the size charts. So I use the Craft Yarn Council size chart. You'll find size patterns have size charts too in them that they've, used comparable to Craft Yarn Council or whatever. And you could definitely go up a size that way to accommodate for the tummy. You can also, if it's just slightly bigger, you can go up a hook size or two, and that'll give a little more room in that area. You can also, when blocking, do that. Block it out more so in that area when you're like pinning, if you're doing like a wet block. Things like that can also work. But yeah, definitely you can size up to accommodate for that.
Yeah, definitely. And I just had a moment there where I thought, if you're doing something top down, like you can decrease for waist shaping, like you often do for women, like you can do the reverse, can't you? You can increase, just add a few stitches here or there.
Right.
If it's really straightforward stitch pattern, like everything's with a caveat, isn't it? Of like, if it's straightforward, then you can do this.
Yeah.
But there's no reason why you can add, if you're doing a top down, add a few stitches here or there.
I was thinking that like you could almost even size up at that section. So continue with whatever if you're doing a large, and then go to the extra large and see where they increase to, that size increases to, and increase to there, and then you could decrease back down or leave it from there down, whatever, however you're doing the garment. So,
and have you seen those when you're doing a garment in flat panels? What I've noticed on some, this is like high street stores as well, they kind of have the panel on the side. It's like a really long
yes,
triangle.
I've noticed that. I want to try that. I haven't done one with that, but that's definitely something that could be done.
So that would be a great way to increase the tummy size and make it like a contrast color as well, to make it a real design.
That would be good.
Don't try to hide it. I think it would really look nice, like a really long thin triangle. Just sew it in on either side, and that will increase the tummy area, definitely.
More space.
Like what they're called something in sewing, aren't they? Like godays. That's what they're called, aren't they? If you add them to skirts, like the triangle bits.
Right.
That's my like Strictly Come Dancing with the Stars knowledge there. I love watching their costume design, because I'm like, oh, how can I crochet that?
I know, right?
Oh, and Sonia's saying about doing a vest. Yes, I have. She's chosen the pattern. A bit worried because of my husband's build. So I'm going to measure. Absolutely.
Yes.
Because, Michelle, recap for us what you were saying in the video about the shoulder to shoulder measurement being the most important thing.
Yes, shoulder to shoulder. Guys just have broader shoulders than us women. And so when I was making the first few patterns for the book, I was like, why does it, I had a few designs that I had done before, but they were worsted weight. And I found the thicker the yarn, the more stretch it has, the more give it has. I could make him a smaller or medium, and it was fine. But I was using thinner yarns for this book, these book patterns, and it was tight all around the shoulders. And so I realized I have to go off of those shoulder to shoulder measurements, his shoulder to shoulder circumference, rather than his chest circumference, because his chest was smaller than his shoulders. So I had to size up to accommodate that and go off of those measurements, and it fit perfect. So always check those shoulder to shoulder measurements.
Yeah. And I was thinking that probably applies to anyone, doesn't it? Male or female. Like if your shoulders are significantly bigger than your chest, then work off that measurement and just go to the schematic and see what it says.
Yep.
I think this is where like professional swimmers will love your patterns, Michelle.
Yeah.
They do get, from the constant swimming, they do get broad shoulders, don't they? Smaller chest, broad shoulders. So if you're a professional swimmer, Michelle's the girl.
That's a niche demographic there that you're. Oh, lovely. Oh, and Joanne's saying, I would like to crochet a vest or cardigan for my oldest son. Michelle's video is very helpful. Awesome. And I'm eyeing your book. Yay, go get it. Go get it.
Yeah, there's a vest and a cardigan in the book.
Excellent. And then just a quick question to address here. So Darlene saying, how can I see the premiere of a video so I can make sure I get to the Q&A from the beginning? The only link I have as a VIP is pre-recorded. So the content is exactly the same in both the VIP and the free, but the VIP is just that it's going to stay there forever. So you can watch that video, or you can go and find the free version over on the designer's channel. Just go over to their channel and it will come live at that time. And then just come and find us as soon as, well, you found us this time, haven't you? So about half an hour after the video airs, we'll be here doing our live Q&A sessions. Right, what else do we have? Do you find that it fits perfect with different types of stitches or just basic stitches? That's a good question, actually.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of the patterns I use for my book and in my men's patterns are very, very basic. I have some single crochet, I have some half double crochet, and I give them texture by working in the back loop and then the front loop, or back loop only, or stuff like that. So, or third loop if it's half double crochet. But I use a lot of just basic stitches. Most guys, not all guys, are just no frills. They don't care. They just want to be comfortable and look good. And I have found that it's really, really easy to create good texture that looks good with the basic single crochet, extended single, half double, double. Those are my go-tos for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think you're right. They don't like it. Well, the men in my life anyway, they don't like it complicated. Just straightforward. Thank you. Even with colors as well, they're not fussed by, even though my children, I was like, when I did my granny stitch stuff for them, I was like, pick bright colours, and they were like, okay, but they're small enough. I think they're still small enough that they really want to experiment, but perhaps the older they get, the more, you know, subtle they might want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to be honest, I've given up on choosing clothes for my husband. Like when I try to buy anything, any kind of present stuff, like there could be 2 t-shirts identical. It's just that one's got a tiny bit more writing. It's like, no, that one's not good. No, I don't want that one. Too much writing.
It's all in
That
the detail.
one extra word on the front is too much.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting. Someone's saying that I found my brother's 2X size requires me to actually make a 5X because of the shoulder to shoulder measurement. Yeah, that's the amount of difference it can make, isn't it?
Yes. And if you find that it is too baggy past the shoulder area and the arms, you could always go down a hook size or 2, tighten up those stitches, tighten up your tension, stuff like that, just to help it fit. But I mean, with my husband, I mean, it's a large on him. Like it fits with plenty of ease, but it looks very natural. Like it doesn't look too baggy. So, I mean, it definitely is looser than if I made him a medium, but just have it drape over his shoulders perfectly and have that nice fit. It looks nice all the way through. So.
And I suppose it depends on people's like style preference, isn't it? Like some people do like tighter clothing, and then that's fine.
Right.
Go for that. But if you want it looser, and like oversized is really fashionable in women's fashion at the moment, isn't it? But not so much in men's. It's kind of they don't have such extremes in their fashion, I don't think.
Right. They don't go for the big 6 inches positives or anything. Yeah, no. And I mean, because of the shoulder, since that's right at the top, and most of the rest, their chest area can be smaller, it usually has enough of a drape and an ease that it's just comfortable for them.
And again, then another reason to use those finer, thinner yarns, isn't it? Because the drape will be so much better.
Yes.
If you haven't tried making a garment with fingering weight yarn, oh my goodness, please try it. It is so worth, isn't it? It's so worth it. Like it's really hard though, isn't it, to convince people, like, first of all, to do something that's scary of like making a garment, but then also to use a really thin yarn that's also scary and take a long time.
Yeah. Start with a short sleeve.
Yes.
No sleeve.
A vest.
Yeah, or a vest. Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, Ness is agreeing, saying I've been dancing professionally. Middle Eastern dance in 2000. I have very broad shoulders as well. Yeah, so this will definitely apply for you too, Ness. It will really, really help. I think knowing your measurements or who the measurements of the person you're making for is just fundamental, isn't it?
Yeah. And Craft Yarn Council is a public website. Like it's not some secret designers only website. Anyone can go to craftyarncouncil.com. I think it's standards, and then they have the size charts. And you can, like, if you only have chest or bust measurements in the pattern, you could go look at that and compare it and see the shoulder to shoulder measurements as well. So definitely use that, even if you're not a designer.
There you go. So I think Ness is measuring as we speak, saying shoulder to shoulder. There you go. Shoulder to shoulder is 43 and chest circumference is 39. Explains a lot of why I have so many issues with sizing. Yes. Yeah. I feel like you've had a light bulb moment, Nessa. Hurrah.
Yes. I did too. That's what
I was like, I love that. Hopefully that will really, really help you.
You could actually even take the 2 measurements, put them together and get like an average.
Yeah.
So you kind of start
here, but then that would be good.
Yeah, you start at kind of that midpoint, and then if you need to increase on your shoulder or on your bust, then you kind of halfway there already. So it's not such a huge difference between the shoulder and the bust measurements. Yeah.
But again, all these things, I feel like it's the confidence to try, isn't it? It's having the knowledge is one thing, but then having the confidence to go, actually, I am going to commit to that and try that. And just to know that, it's okay if it doesn't work out. That's cool. Like, I mean, but probably all 3 of us have tried stuff that didn't work out quite as well as we'd hoped, and we just had to try again. You try again, and what's the worst that happens? You frog it and you use it for something else, or you begin again.
I was making it was a bottom up raglan for my husband when I first got into crochet. It was in Tunisian crochet. So you kind of worked up the body and then you work up 2 sleeves separately. And to do the raglan shaping up the top, you then join the sleeves and then kind of go all the way around. And now, honestly, after watching a presentation, it just dawned on me why it didn't fit, because it pulled across his back. Like just
Mhm.
that measurement between the 2 sleeves across his back, it was pulling
Yeah.
so bad. And because he was Tunisian crochet, obviously the return pass kind of doesn't give much
Right.
when it comes to widthway. So I have to say it got passed on to someone else because it just didn't fit. And I just, yeah, after all those hours of working on crochet as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes total sense. That shoulder to shoulder is really crucial when you're crocheting for guys, definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely. And then, so Valerie's asking, so if you have more narrow shoulders, would you size down then and increase to fit the chest? So yeah, the same logic applies, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think that's very rare though. I
Yeah.
feel like very rarely if you have because I have pretty narrow shoulders and short arms, so I just go off of my bust measurement and I get a good fit. It depends on how tight you want it or loose you want it as well. But if your shoulders are much more narrow than your bust circumference, your shoulder circumference, then yeah, you could size down and you could continue increasing or add stitches, or like I said, go up a hook size or 2 in that area just to give it a little more give.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of it also depends on the neckline as well, as to how then it's going to fit on your how the design will actually fit on your shoulders.
And like if it's a drop shoulder or
Yeah.
if it's not, and the style. So
yeah,
for sure.
and like if you've got maybe not so much in men's and boys stuff, but if you've got like a slash neck or a boat neck, then you can just extend that, and that will then give you more space on your shoulders, won't it? So a lot of it. There's so many elements and so many variables, aren't there?
Right,
and it's just kind of thinking carefully, isn't it, before you even put. I nearly said put pen to paper, but we're not going to do that. Get your hook out.
Yeah.
And really understand the construction of the thing that you're making. That's the important thing. That's the important thing. Yeah. Yes. So Ness has had the issue with making Tunisian crochet cardigans as well. So yeah, look, see, we're not alone. We all have the same problems, don't we? We all have the same things.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then saying, I would think your very small and narrow shoulders, you would want to consider decreasing after you pass your bust. Yeah, and I suppose then it depends. Maybe you need to think about the construction of item that you make. Maybe a bottom up would be better to make then, because then you know that it fits well there, and then you can decrease for it to fit your shoulders. There's lots of I can hear all of our brains going figuring it out. And then from Stephanie asking, what if you have no bust? I had preventative surgery, so just work off my shoulder to shoulder. So oversized garments work well for me. I have wide shoulders and long arms. Yeah, so exactly that. Yeah, just work from your shoulder measurement, and that will work brilliantly for you. And I think a top down again is good in that scenario, because then you can contour it to your body if you would like to.
Yeah.
Just say definitely. So yeah, so Michelle, what's your favorite go-to construction for men and boys garments?
I like either. I think almost all. I had one top down, I think. I did a lot of panels with seaming, which is why I loved Sarah's presentation. Because I'm always like, I'm not confident in seaming, so that definitely helped. But I like to be able to seam them, create panels, and that way I can do shaping how I want to or whatnot, and then bottom up in the round, split panels for the armholes, and then create the sleeves from there. That's my go-to. That's also, like she said, when you got a seam on the shoulder, it just reinforces it. It keeps it all, holds it all up with their big shoulder. And so, that was my go-to bottom up for sure, or just 2 panels sewn together.
And then the bottom up as well, it's really easy to check because lengthwise as well, like some men, like boys especially, my boys grow at such different rates that their bodies are like completely different, out of proportion to the rest of them.
Yep.
So like you can really easily adjust, can't you? Just keep going until it's where you want it to be.
So you're ready for the armholes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. And that's great for like I've had people ask me, like, I have a really tall husband. He's very, very tall. And so, you know, all torso or whatever. So that's easily adjustable. You just keep adding rows until you get to the length you need. So
yeah.
And
talking like wear and tear, like I'm not casting aspersions or anything here, but my husband is far less gentle with his clothing than I like just thrown in the like it is really important, isn't it, to work those seams as well as you can, because they will be tested like that. And I mean, like, I, you know, sorry if everyone's other half isn't quite like mine. Or my children, they just but that's children in general, isn't it? Like they just not as careful with ripping things off themselves.
Right.
So I think like what would be your go-to yarn choice for durability but also comfort? Like what
well, I talked a little bit about that in the presentation. You definitely want to keep in mind, like, who if it's your husband or whatever, you're gonna be able to wash it how you want to wash it, you know. So but if you're giving it away to, say, your father or your father-in-law or somebody else, I would choose personally something that can be not hand washed, machine washed and machine dried. Like if that's just acrylic for you, you know, something like that if they just throw it in the wash with all their other clothes, it's going to hold up. You know what I mean? So now not all of the designs in my book a lot of them are, you know, a wool blend or whatever, but I used a lot of stroll and wool of the Andes and all that. But I know that I'm going to be able to take care of them the way I want to take care of them. So yeah, but if you're giving it away and you're not going to be able to like take care of it yourself, I would definitely go with like something easily machine washable, dryable. Maybe that's acrylic or cotton or whatever. So
yeah, something hard wearing that's going to withstand rough handling.
There's some really nice acrylic yarns out there now for making garments with. Like it's not all scratchy and horrid, is it, anymore?
No, there's some really nice ones out there, and all weights too, which is really nice.
Yeah. Whereas it wasn't that good. Like, even 10 years ago, I remember thinking, I don't want to use that yarn. I wouldn't use that.
Right, exactly.
Definitely. Oh, we've just answered a question that came up already.
I think so, yeah.
She asked about the brand.
What brand did you use most?
So We Crochet actually sponsored the book, so they sent me all the yarn for the book, which is awesome because I am obsessed with their yarns. So and they have tons of options from acrylic and machine washable to the really nice stuff. So
definitely
fantastic.
Oh, and Dawn, poor Dawn, my husband, the wool sweater I made, and you should have seen his face when he took it out of the washer. Oh gosh,
was it super wash? I found that like those, like, they expand in the wash, but then if you put them in the dryer, they shrink back to it.
Oh really? What, you can like just in and out it?
Just keep checking on it and it'll go back to its, just don't let it get too small. I've done that. Yep.
Oh gosh, that's funny. And then Joanne's asking, how would you measure the neck?
Same way that you do all the other ones. I usually, when I'm trying to determine like pullover or whatever, I go off the head size for sure. So if it stretches, you want it to be able to stretch, or if it doesn't stretch, you want to make sure that it'll go over their head. So that's what I usually try to go off of, is that head size to make sure.
Because like with in the women's sizing charts, necklines are pretty standard, aren't they? They don't change very much. Whereas like children's sizes, like their necks, they change significantly throughout the sizes.
Yeah.
So like heads are generally a similar size and necks are generally a similar size, unless you're like, so my older brother is a personal trainer. So he has he has a wide neck that's wider than his head. So you really have to think about who you're making for and what they're. That's just come to my mind. I was like, how would I make it?
You'd have to make sure. And if you're doing bottom up, that's convenient because you can just stitch and seam however much, give them as much room as they need, and if they want it lower or whatnot. So but I think with those shoulder measurements, most likely, if they have a big neck, they're going to have bigger shoulders as well. So you know, just take all the measurements. And feel free to reach out to the designer. Like, that's my big thing. Like, let me know. Like, if you want to be like, this is my husband's measurements. What do I do? Which size? I'm down. Like, go ahead and email me. That's fine.
Well, there you go. On that, we've had someone say, can I pick your brains later? So I'm
I don't know. I'm still learning. Every time I make something new for my husband or my sons, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I could do, so I'm still learning, but
yeah, we all are though, aren't we? Mm-hmm. We all are. And it's just like Veronika and I have said, like finding the right place to ask the question and finding the resource and having a go and figuring it out.
Trying new things, messing up.
Dawn said it was 100% wool and had cables in it. Oh no.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
You gotta stick it in your side of the closet so that he doesn't. You are not allowed to wash.
Oh, and Colleen is saying she wished she'd seen this video before, so she made the hoodie pattern with stroll yarn, and it has beautiful drape. Stroll is amazing for drape, isn't it? I ended up giving it to a daughter because I didn't size it right.
Yeah.
But I'm sure your daughter loves it. Because actually, that's the other.
I'm working on a women's one, so yay! Because that one, everyone loved the hoodie. So there's a children's one, and now I'm about to start the women's.
Oh, awesome! And then we have Whistle Stitch saying, "I'm working on one of your men's pullovers right now for my husband. It's working up beautifully.
Yay,
amazing,
awesome!"
And that I think is the difference as well between having a design from a designer who has researched, knows what they're doing, and provides you with all the resources that you need. Like, you will be successful if you follow what the pattern says and do that gauge swatch and work out those measurements. You will be so much more successful if you find a designer that provides that for you and gives you that support as well.
Yeah, this is the question. I always get questions like, why don't you do more designs for girls? And it's like, because I don't really have girls. I've got two boys
girls to experiment on.
So it's like all these nice, like a roughly pretty designs with all little butterflies and flowers. It don't really come natural to me because you kind of have to think about the boy stuff, what they're gonna wear and what's gonna fit them. So definitely find a designer that has been through it and that they crochet for someone that they've got there to try on and to really get the basics right.
Definitely. Oh, and the saga continues. Dawn said, I made a yarn bag out of it. Excellent. I love that. I love that. Repurpose and reused. And then Leslie's asking, where can I find your book that I've heard you refer to? Where do we go, Michelle?
So if you type in menscrochetpatterns.com, that will actually redirect you to my site where it has all the links of where you can purchase the pattern. It shows all the patterns that are in there, and it shows all the patterns and all the different ways. There's like an ebook version, all kinds of stuff. So
found it. I'm going to put it in the comments, everyone. I found it. There we go, everyone. That's where you can find it. Awesome. Right, have I missed anything? There have been loads of questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for all of your questions and engagement and stuff. We've got a few more minutes if anyone has any other questions, not necessarily just about crochet for men and for boys, which obviously Michelle knows all about, but you design women's patterns as well, don't you? You design accessories, all sorts of things. But what do you enjoy most for you?
Lately it has been the men's stuff. I really like doing the men. Like I said, just hey, try this on. Try it to my husband and my boys. I like being able to, like, I love the challenge of designing. So I'm like, how can I make this fit great? Not see, I want people, my thing is I love when people are like, no way, you made that? That's crochet. Get excited and they can't believe it. And that's like goals. Yes. So I'm enjoying the challenge of making different, like, stylish and modern men's designs that men are going to enjoy and like, and women or whoever are going to enjoy crocheting them. So
So do you get
really
requests
enjoy
from
it.
your boys for clothing? Do they request something like, oh, I want this, I like this, can you make me this?
I have a few things, like the hoodie came from a requester, but not much because we live in Florida and it's hot. So
Yeah.
we don't get to wear the stuff a lot. But yeah, I mean, other than like a hoodie or a jacket or something, not so much.
It's hard. Yeah, having sunshine, so hard.
Aw.
No,
That's all we have here most of the time.
we said they didn't we, Veronica? Like, it's starting to get warmer here. It is just the sun is beginning to shine on us a little bit in the UK.
Yeah, like I said earlier, mostly because it's like gale force winds out there, so the clouds get blown away really quickly.
Yeah.
So we are getting some sunshine today.
Yeah,
I had to kind of pop out to grab the boys from school after we finished the introduction. Honestly, I could have just flown to school because it was so windy. It was
Wow. Wow.
Oh dear. Julia.
Yeah.
Just finished the beach bound tank. That's a good name for it. And I took the liberty of changing the front neckline into a scoop style. It turned out great.
Nice.
Oh, I love it when people change, like, you know.
Patterns. Yep.
Yeah.
I know. I do too. I love it when they adjust it to their liking, and I'm like, awesome.
You know, they get to wear it a lot, then, don't they?
Right, and then they like it. Yep.
I would much rather someone do it to how they would like it rather than exactly how I've written it, because, you know, I've written it for me and or the style that I want it to be.
Right.
Like, that might not work for you, and that's
or the
fine.
standard way. Yeah, that it will fit to the most people. Yeah.
Change it to however you want it to be, you know, because you're the one that has to wear it. You know, I want you to enjoy it.
Oh, we've got a design request.
I think I know who this is too, because she requested it yesterday too. I do. I got to figure out the right yarn for that. I do have an idea for a short sleeved, like summery cotton blend yarn, short sleeved, but I'll have to think more on that for a tank top.
And then you'll get more use out of it in Florida.
Oh, definitely. I asked my husband, I was like, hey, if I make something summery, you're going to go to the beach and model it for me?
And he said,
yeah, yes. That's a good sport.
What's a tank top to you, though? Because I think they're different things in different places in the world. Is it like a strappy top?
Not necessarily for a guy. It wouldn't. I would be like, it would be a little bit of a thicker sleeve, like a
So not like it, because for us, like a vest top for us is like straps, like spaghetti straps.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to like a V-neck vest type thing.
Okay. No, I don't know.
We call things such different things, and it really
frustrates
me, because like some people are like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I think she's back. But yes, so send your request to Michelle, anything you want for men and boys.
Let me know. I need all the ideas.
That's the thing, is that there's so many ideas, aren't there? Like, there's limitless amounts.
It's just figuring out how to do it. And make it look good.
Oh, there we go. And we have so I'm trying to get through everyone. So thoughts on grading, that's the thing, isn't it, as well? Having all these ideas are amazing, but then for us as designers to work out how to make them work. So grading is where you design it in one size, and then you make sure it fits all the other sizes and do all the numbers and the maths. It's a whole other ball game, isn't it, compared to women's, because you've got different proportions and different dimensions. So spreadsheet galore.
And all the measurements.
all the measurements. Oh gosh, we've run out of time. I'm so sorry. We've run out of time. Yes, we are due to go to Brianna's presentation next, which is all about flat crochet garments. So, which can apply to men's.
I know, I'm watching this one.
It can apply to so many things. So if everyone wants to hop back over to the course platform, find the link premiere for that, or if you're in the VIP platform, then go in and watch Brianna's video, and then as soon as that finishes, pop on over to our channels, and we'll be live to chat with you and have a lovely Q&A about that. So thank you so much, Michelle. It's been
Oh,
awesome.
you're welcome. Thank you.
And I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad.
It's been
Yep,
fun.
there's lots of people saying that. Yep, I've just bought your book. So awesome.
Fantastic.
Get that book. Get measuring, and then get making.
Yep.
Cool. We'll see you soon, everyone.
Right.
Bye,
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.